What is going on, boy?
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey, just another beautiful Saturday. Happy hour, Four
Yeah, yep.
Levels podcast on Heavy Pour Sports. That's a
hmm
terrible looking shirt you have on.
Yeah, I mean, I could say the same for you and all your decorations in your garage there. There's a reason Lindsay
Hey,
makes you keep them out there.
that's true. I got it all reorganized too. Holiday week, so I had a couple days off. The garage is clean now. I got the set up a different spot. I got to figure out what to do with the TV though when it becomes game time. Might set up the projector. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's still hot out here. It's still hot out here.
Oh,
I got to find a way to earn. I got to earn my way back into the house at some point. I'm not there yet, but we just out here. We just out here sweating.
yeah.
But it's been a good week, good sports week. We
Oh, yeah.
saw NHL wrap up. Panthers just whooped up on
Oh,
Edmonton. Um, I will tell you, not big hockey show as you could see from previous clips. If you find the right team and can celebrate winning old Lord Stanley Cup,
yeah.
that's a good time. Because I don't know if you've
Oh,
seen any of
yeah.
these videos. These boys
Yeah,
down in
they were
South Florida having
partying.
a good time.
Did
Good
you
old
see
time.
that? Dude, I don't know which player it was, but the homie took the Stanley Cup to his neighbor's house at like 3 a.m. And it was like four of the players. He's like ringing the dude's doorbell, and his wife answers. She's like, "Hey, I just wanted to come show him the Stanley Cup." She's like, "All right, he's on his way down." God, in the front yard,
the
just dark as hell.
Yep. The I think the parade's today, and these dudes have been on a bender. They have been on one for days now.
Yeah.
I guess you can't get hung over if you stay drunk. So let's just
Nah.
like keep going at it.
Yep. Yep.
But good for them. I saw them at that Elbow Room. It was at 11, I think, down there in South Beach.
Yep.
There's been no less than 400 beers drinking out of the Stanley Cup, so
Oh,
it's been a good
dude.
time.
Yeah. They yeah, I mean, shoot, the immune systems are being boosted this week. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's the only sports trophy I've ever seen where people just legitimately drink out of it like it's cool. Like you're like, whatever, man. We don't need cups. Who needs cups? We have a big one right here. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like old school. Oh my god! You remember like college playing beer pong? You had like the clean
yeah,
off
the
cup,
water
and you
cup.
would like drink,
Yeah.
and you would drink from the same solo
Uh,
cup as everybody else. Oh my god! How we survive? How anybody
I don't know,
survives that? I
man.
don't even
I don't know.
know.
That yeah, we were
Now,
not
now I'm
doing
just like, hey,
ourselves any favors.
I'll play, but I'm gonna have my own cup here. Where these things
Yep.
gonna fill up with water. I don't care how lame
Yeah.
it is. It's just that's how I'm rolling nowadays.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Uh, And then we had game 6 of the NBA Finals, which I didn't see it going that way. I don't know about
Nope.
you.
Nah, man. I mean, I don't know. But as I was listening to the broadcast, Mike Breen and Jefferson brought it up. They were like, OKC's kind of done this a couple of times this postseason where it's just like, you think it's their time to just put the foot down and be like, all right, enough of this. And then they just throw up an absolute stinker of a game, but then they come right back and it's like they're unfazed. So, uh, they did it against the T Wolves, who was also a hot team, came back, won that series, obviously. But dude, I mean, we were talking in the group chat about it, and I just thought Indiana from jump in that game just looked like a completely different team. And mostly, honestly, on the defensive side of the ball, and then they were getting out and running. And I think really what was most surprising to me is I did not expect Hallie with all the uproar about how bad his calf was and that calf strain. I didn't, when he was in there, I just figured he'd be like a placeholder, somebody get in there, take his threes. But dude, he was playing. It didn't seem like it affected him at all. He was getting up and down, running the court, getting down the post, getting his shot. Obviously hitting threes and hitting some clutch shots and playing good defense. So I don't know, man. Apparently it wasn't that bad. Either that or whatever they put on that calf before the game was like some kind of miracle. So yeah, I saw something. It was like, oh my goodness, it was like Halliburton's deal with the devil, and R.I.P. It was like the owner of the Colts passed away,
Oh, yeah.
and then oh my goodness, why can I not think of the Colts quarterback's name? Young dude, he was
Richardson?
a rookie last year. Yeah, Richardson got hurt,
Richardson?
I
Yeah.
guess, and yeah, and then Caitlin Clark got hurt, and then somehow Tyrese Halliburton just comes back immediately from his calf injury. You're like, I hope that deal with the devil was worth it, Hallie.
It was like the day, I think it was either the day Ursay was announced that he passed away, was that shot. His toe was on the line, but bounces off the back of the rim, and it's like
Yeah,
old Jim dropped it in from heaven,
yeah,
But yeah, it's been a wild ride from Indiana for sure. And they did.
oh
You're
yeah,
right. They were a different team. OKC looked like they were sleepwalking. The first, I would say 10 possessions total in the game, back and forth
yeah,
between Indy and OKC. I think it
yeah.
was 10-2, maybe 12-2. Uh,
Hmm.
Nothing Indiana did, like nothing was dropping. They just couldn't make
Right.
us. And you're like, man, this is gonna be ugly.
Here
Like
we go.
OKC's gonna
Yeah,
dog walk this team at
yeah,
home. Um, and then they went on a run. Next thing you know, it's 15-12, and they never looked back.
yeah,
Um, it it surprised me that they end up just crushing like that. Not surprised that they won.
yeah,
They have kind of stood up and back against the wall, or they've come and gotten wins that you didn't expect them to the whole time. And now it's game 7, right? And it's like
yeah.
anything can happen. Um, they have they have played well in those situations so far.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm kind of, I said last week, and you agreed with me. I don't see them going into OKC and winning a game 7. But like, if ever there was a team that just in recent past that just felt like it was like destiny, I think the Pacers fit that mold. Like all of the crap they've gone through, the miraculous shots that they've been hitting, I think Halliburton's obviously on a mission right now to just absolutely give the middle finger to everybody that voted for him as the most overrated player in the NBA.
Yeah,
He's like, all
yeah.
right, hold this. And if that man wins this championship, he is going to be insufferable for,
And
for
he should
the
be.
next year. And
And he
rightly
should
and
be.
rightly so. And rightly so. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to knock him for that. I would be so annoying to everyone if they go into OKC and win a game 7, which is like not out of the realm of possibility now, man. I don't know. I don't know.
You can have. We'll get in predictions, and I'll have my take on Game 7. But you just have one dude that can go off. Whether it's Halliburton, it's Pascal Siakam, somebody else steps up. Miles Turner's a veteran on that team who can have a big game. But yeah, it is going to be a ruckus environment. OKC arguably has the best home court advantage in the league for the way
Yeah.
they do things and pack it out, and the way that fan base is. But the the whole of the Pacers, uh, played well and they stepped up. Just they had the whole this whole postseason. Like you said, Halliburton's going to be unstoppable if they somehow pull off the upset. I mean, the whole team has been playing like a chip on their shoulder or chip on their shoulder. They started off the NBA playoffs like you couldn't even find them on TV. They weren't on TNT. They weren't on the main broadcast.
Nope.
They were on True TV, like a TNT affiliate. So
Yep.
not even the league thought like they were important enough to put in prime time. They just kept winning ball games and upsetting teams. And you know, every single series so far, it's been a clean sweep of they're going to go and play Cleveland or Boston. They're going to lose. Cleveland, they're going to lose. New York, they're going to lose. And finally, some people, I think Udonis Haslam picked them to win the series, but for the most part, including the two of us picked OKC, T picked Indiana, and now we're going to see what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If you would have told me in that game Tyrese Halliburton has 14 points, even with the injury, I think they probably end up losing. I don't see Obi Toppin going for 20, right? Like everybody, TJ goes off. Every person that had to, supplemental player that had to step up had a massive game.
Yeah. My buddy Cash that I played college ball with has been on a tirade for like the last month in the group chat that we got going about how bad the Knicks trade was when they traded for Mikal Bridges. And every time Obi Toppin has a big game, he's just like, I told you, like, this is a terrible trade. Like, you're just like, oh man. So if the Pacers win, we're never going to hear the end of that one either. It's like, granted, that trade was a little ridiculous. You leveraged your future on a player that is like a friggin' 6-man on a Phoenix team that made it somewhat deep in the playoffs, and it's just like, that doesn't really make that much sense to me either. But dude, Obi's been stepping up, and then really Pascal Siakam, dude. And who really impressed me was Miles Turner, and how he just absolutely bullied Chet Holmgren for 4 quarters worth of basketball. like
let's talk about it. Let's talk
oh
about
my
it.
goodness.
So
yeah.
T's not here to defend Chet.
No,
he's
not.
like the
He's
Chet
not.
truther on the show. So we'll have to let him have his shine when he's back with us.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Chet Holmgren hype. I don't get it. Like, I understand he's a skilled big man. He's 7'12". Like he's massive, tall, but he's
big wingspan,
light in the ass. And if I understand in the regular season, he can be a matchup nightmare because, like you said, long wingspan. He's a stretch 4. He can put dudes in a bind. But you consistently saw in a 7-game series throughout the playoffs, especially this one, if you have a big who can play the 4 or the 5, like a Miles Turner, who's decently athletic, who can move the feet.
Yeah,
Chet Holmgren can't play with that dude. Like, it's going to be, or you're going to, and you always try to put a big man in a mismatch pick and roll, try to, put your point guard or a guard on a big, but like, it doesn't matter where he is on the floor. It's a vulnerability for OKC. And I think if Daggs tries to ride Chet Holmgren in Game 7, you increase the likelihood of a Pacers upset, like, substantially.
Yeah, again, not trying to discredit the dude's skill set. Like, obviously, it's a very unique skill set. Can shoot the ball, has good footwork in the post. But if you got a dude that is solid defensively in the post, who's also outweighing you by 50 pounds. And every time you try to get down there, like, he's just bodying you left and right. Like, Chet can't get in there and be a physical big man. Like, he's got good footwork on the defensive end. I do like the way he plays because I think his timing, shot blocking wise, is very good, which leads to a lot of blocks. And he's obviously got that long ass wingspan, so he knows how to play in space, especially defensively. But like you're saying, if you're trying to ride him for points in the paint, like that ain't it. Like, you need to get him out in space, give him opportunities to be able to use his athleticism, because he's not going to be down there playing like a traditional big man. And it was just every time he got the ball, Miles Turner was just wrapped on this dude like a blanket. It was not working out well for him at all.
And even you mentioned like his ability to shoot the ball, which I think regular season he was like a 40% 3-point shooter, which is pretty good. But in
Yeah,
the postseason, he hasn't been great.
they
This
shot
series, I
terribly
think
as a
he's
team last night or
yeah.
the other night too.
But I think he's 30%
Yeah,
for this series
yeah,
from three. And then even when he gets a look and try to take a three, you saw Miles, sent one on him, where like he seems to be playing in slow motion,
hmm
comparative to, like you said, what his skill set is. And I think
yep,
it's because he's rattled, he's getting beat up, he's getting bodied. That's just not the kind of player that he is. Like he
yep,
doesn't seem to want that physicality. But like you also just mentioned, it's not just one side of the ball. Like I'm talking about his offensively, he's not been able to produce, but he
yeah,
is averaging like 8 rebounds a game. He is
yep,
averaging 12 blocks a game. Like he's
yep,
definitely able to use his abilities on that side of the floor. But he's got to give you 10, 12 points in a
yeah,
game at
yep,
least
yeah.
if he's going to be out there.
I gotta go look at what his plus minus was the last game because it had to have been absolutely terrible. Let's see.
Yeah,
I'm about to pull up his stats real quick because
that
yeah, if all he's giving you is like, and again here, just as I'm pulling this up, he was the leading rebounder on their team with 6 rebounds. Like
no,
that
yeah,
that also ain't good. Granted, like they
no.
were kind of shooting the lights out, but you can't be getting out rebounded like that. Let's see. Oh my goodness, dude, Jalen Williams was a minus 40. Whew, that's rough. Chet actually was the best of the 4 starters at a minus 11. Uh,
Yeah, and when you
so
get blown out like that, everybody's
yeah,
plus minus is probably
yeah,
going to
but
like
yeah,
skew terrible.
yeah, minus 40. That's pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, dude, yikes, that's a big yikes. But yeah, like you're saying, he's got to come out and give you, 15 points on the offense at a minimum. Like otherwise, they're just going to pack down the lane like they were, and when they go cold from 3-point, like really, and they can pack in the lane like that, like we know Shai's going to get his points. It just is what it is. The dude, nobody's been able to stop him all year long. He's going to get his, but when they make him one dimensional, if they can do that again in Game 7, they can make them one dimensional and they get him to miss a couple of shots. Like I really feel like it's going to go the Pacers' way. Will that happen? I don't know. I don't see him being as cold shooting as they were with the tight rims on the road there.
Yeah, I think if we'll just get into the what we think how Game 7 is going to look. I think you either got to put Chet at the 5 and just spread the floor out, and put Hardstein, and kind of sub him in. You don't start him, or you put Hardstein at the 5 and you play, with him in the middle of the paint, and then you kind of play 4 out around that and give
Yeah.
Case and Wallace the start or something like that. But
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
7.5 points is the spread, I think. Last time I looked,
Ooh.
which is still pretty big now it's down to 6.5
Six and a
according
half. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
ESPN Bet.
Yeah.
So a little better. I could see this being a tight game. I could see the nerves coming out. Both teams now, like OKC had a little bit of a leeway last game, so you could see that they didn't have the urgency that the Pacers did. Now both teams are gonna play with tight assholes as they play this. They know if the loser ain't all this for naught. Like you're second place and you don't have a trophy. And all you did was put extra miles on the tires in a long postseason run. I don't see the Pacers role players doing what they did at home. Like, I'm sorry, Obi has extended his game. His 3-point shot is there. He's an athletic freak, and yes, he can get 20. I don't see him getting 20 on the road. I don't see, some of the like TJ. TJ's great. He could definitely pop off. I don't know he's going to be your second leading scorer and go off like he did. I
Yeah.
also don't think OKC's like Lou Dort. You talk about Williams, Shea. These guys at home are going
Yeah.
to step up, and then I think your supplemental players like Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, some of those guys have big games, and that's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 15+ point game in Game 7. I hope it's not. I hope it's a competitive game. But the way history has said with this OKC team is they don't lose back-to-back games ever in like over a year.
Yeah.
And when they do lose a game, they come back and smack the team in the mouth the
Hmm.
following game.
Yeah.
I could see this one being a 15-point game. They easily cover the 7-point spread. What are you thinking about it?
Dude, I think it's gonna hinge a lot on if Tyrese is actually healthy. Because yeah, I mean he's not. You're not going to win another game with him only going out there and giving you 14. And I know like they were able to manage his minutes. He only played 23 minutes. Uh, Obviously they were nursing it, trying to feel it out, see how it was going to be. And I definitely don't think they go out and win a game if Obi Toppin is their leading scorer. I think it's going to take a special night from Siakam and Halliburton in order to get it done for them. But I think, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I just have a hard time picking against the Thunder at home. And I definitely agree with you. I think their role players are going to play better than they did on the road. And I think overall, as a team, while Pacers may be more of a team, I guess this is going to come out sounding kind of weird. I think they're more of a like a legitimate team, whereas Oklahoma City obviously has more star power. But I think the one thing that Oklahoma City does do well, especially at home, is play defense as a team. So I think it'll be tight early, but I think their defense, their athleticism, ultimately is going to be what's going to win them this game. And I think, they're going to get into probably like, I'll give them probably till like midway through the third quarter. I can see OKC going on a run. That crowd gets into it. And then, I think the Stars take over, man. I don't see them dropping game 7 at home. And I think I'm with you. I think OKC covers that spread to get the win. Now we both could be on here next week looking real stupid because because the Pacers obviously have been making us look stupid all playoff long. But yeah, man,
Yep.
I just don't see how you hold down that lineup again. And I think Dort honestly is another key component there. I think you got to get him on Hallie and be physical with him to try to make him show whether or not he's actually going to be healthy. And I think if you lock him down and you force them into having to play ball with Siakam and then hoping that, one of the role players, whether it be TJ or whether it be Obi, steps up and tries to win the game for him, that's just not a recipe for success for Indiana over and over again. So, yeah, man, I think they get it done. I think they cover at home. And get that title at OKC that KD could never get, but hey.
Well, so I was going to ask you about that. Does Dort, if Halliburton is injured, and typically he has had big games, but not necessarily scoring the ball, assisting the ball. Like
Yeah,
he had the 20-point triple double, no turnovers. Like can have those
yeah,
games, and the stats say if Halliburton gets 20 and 10, they're winning the game.
yeah,
But really, the score, like the dude who's going to have the rock in his hands lately, has been Siakam.
yeah.
Do you put Dort on Siakam and try to lock him down and say, hey, Halliburton is compromised, so we can put a lesser defender on him and
Yeah,
just try to contain him? Because if Siakam gets 15 and Halliburton gets 15, you probably roll out of that game with a win, right? If
yeah,
Hallie gets 15 and Siakam has 30, now that's a ball game that you might lose.
yeah. I mean, I think honestly, I mean, you could, right? Like Dort's one of the best man-on-man defenders in the league. Period. Um, I also think I think Chet matches up better with Siakam than he matches up with Turner. Because Siakam, while he is like he's still got a size advantage, at least weight wise on Chet, and like he's obviously a more mature player. He's better in the post, I would argue. But I think I don't know if you necessarily pull Dort off and put him on Siakam, but I definitely think you spell him out every now and then, especially they get on a run. You need to lock them down. I don't hate that idea. Um, at 6'4", what is Siakam like? He's got to be like 6'10" or something like that, right? Uh,
He's yeah.
I guess 6'8". I guess he's just long. He's a long dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea of it, but I mean, Buddy's also 245, so
Yeah.
he's a big boy. But yeah, man,
Yeah. It's big.
I think again, I think they have the better team defense overall. Uh, So I think if you test it out early and it's clear that Halliburton is not 100% and is not necessarily the one you need to be worried about, then maybe you look at that.
Yeah. The other piece of this kind of last part of the Game 7 preview, there was a lot of energy by the Pacers in that Game 6. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they show up in Game 7. It's just kind of like,
A little bit of a letdown.
they blew that. Yeah, they blew that load a little early in Game 6 just to get them to Game 7. And they just don't have the
Yeah.
legs underneath them. But it's just I am confident OKC is going to win, except I'm not confident because every time like the Pacers have no chance, they sit there and they do something crazy, and if OKC gets up 20, like we said, and if they even think about letting the foot off the brake or off the gas, it's just like this team can come back. And
we've seen it. We've already seen it in the series.
Yeah. As much as we're confident in OKC, we would come on here next week, not surprised if all of a sudden it was a 20-point game in the fourth quarter and the Pacers somehow come and win, right? It was kind of funny too. I was watching some stuff online. All of the Pacer staff, so like the man, like all the staff, from people who work concessions to like their PR folks, everybody had to rehearse the night before of walking Larry O'Brien through the guest locker room onto the court like multiple times so they would get it right. And they were saying like even the Pacers staff like inside Gamebridge was pissed off. They're just assuming that we're gonna lose, and the players got pissed. So that was kind of a cool story. Like everybody, even the people who work there, the dude selling hot dogs is like, okay, you want to doubt us? Let's go get a W.
Yeah, we've seen trophy walks go poorly before. we've seen that turn out poorly.
Oh man, that Ray Allen shot with the trophy right behind them, essentially, when they were to beat the Spurs. That was a hell of a game,
dude. I don't see that happening again.
No. Well, we both got OKC. I don't think we had the same kind of pull as some of the ESPN or NBA TV announcers. But if there is a jinx on the show, we both swept it. And T's not here to pick Indiana, so we might have just doomed OKC. But I think they cover. Either way, shout out to the Pacers for giving us one more game. Like we needed just one more thing to look forward to.
Great series, dude. I did not see it being this good of a series, but absolutely like phenomenal series to this point. So,
all right. So now transition to college ball. It was the official announcement of the trader himself, Vince Morrow, going down the road, as he says, to Louisville, and he was talking about. We didn't talk about it. I went on my little rant on the All UK Ball show, but we haven't talked about it on this show, especially with you as the resident Louisville fan. How do you feel about Vince Morrow coming over there, and how it's going to affect the football team?
Man, I think it definitely, having him be director of personnel and recruiting is a interesting move, I will say. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to shut up a lot of Kentucky fans, because one of the things that he's been stuck on over the last couple of weeks is everybody saying that he's jumping ship because he forgot how to recruit, and he has taken that very personally, and he is not happy about it because he's talked about it during his interview, and he's been on Twitter apparently getting after people as well.
Vince is active on Twitter. He will if he sees something. If you at him, he's going to respond back to you for sure.
Yeah, and I like I kind of like the point he made. It's like, he was responsible for recruiting in a very specific region, and he also had his on-field responsibilities as well. And his point was like, hey, like I'm going up to Ohio, I'm going up to these states, in close proximity to Kentucky, and I'm pulling these players in. I'm like, hey, these are the dudes that we should take. And then, maybe somebody else has a recruit that comes out of Texas or a recruit that comes out of Florida because that's their lane and that's where they're recruiting. And he's like, it's not my fault if the coaching staff wouldn't want to take my guys. He's like, last time I checked, Ohio is like 4th or 5th in the country in producing Division I football players. And he's like, if I'm recruiting people and they don't want to take them like that, it's not that I forgot how to recruit. It's just sometimes, if the coaching staff isn't convinced that's their guy they want to go with, that's the way it's going to go. But yeah, he's not even calling y'all by name. You're the school down the street now. It's like, he who shall not be named. He's definitely fired up to be there. I'm interested to see, because I think what has held us back in, all of the iterations of new coaches, even I think the only coach that we really had that did a good job of pulling people from the areas that make a school like Texas or a school like Alabama or name an SEC powerhouse school great. The only person that we have had as a coach that has been able to pull in those types of players was Charlie Strong. And to a certain extent, Petrino, right? So we haven't had that kind of pull. I'm interested to see if he can use his knowledge and use his experience to try to start pulling from those player pools, because that, I think, is what's keeping us from being able, like, nobody wants to just continuously be a top 15 team. Well, now, with the new college football playoff, maybe that gets you in, maybe it doesn't. But nobody wants to just continue to be a top 15 team, 9-10 wins a season. While that is nice, everyone at the end of the day wants to be a champion, and you're never going to beat these big schools if you can't pull from the same player pool that they're pulling from. So, we'll see with his SEC background if he's able to start trying to, pick off onesie twosie players here and there. Obviously, I'm a big Jeff Brom fan, and I love what he's been able to do over the course of the next couple of years. But we're trying to make that next step, and we'll see. We'll see whether Vince is the guy to take us there or not. But it seems like, at least Jeff seems like he thinks that he is. So, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff's been courting him for a while now. They've openly talked previously about, like, their relationship, and that they've been boys, and I think they like each other, the way they look at the game. In the opening press conference, Vince took some shots at Kentucky, especially like the offense. He was talking about, like, hey, I've been pulling in, 4-star dudes. I've been hitting the transfer portal. I've been getting them into, Lexington.
Yeah.
When we're showing that we're not great offensively. And now I can go into a school and I just tell them that I'm recruiting for Jeff Brom, and they know how the offense is going to go. They know they're going to get into the league, because that's the ultimate goal for all these kids.
Yeah.
He said, like, everybody wants to get to the league. Everyone wants to get to the NFL. Most of them aren't going to, but, they all think that they have the opportunity. So that's what I'm selling.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was the push out the door for Vince. He's been tagged to take in X job, head coach, blah, 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 offense coordinator.
Yeah.
He's been tagged to do all these things for years and years now. He always comes back. Normally it seems to be like a money grab. Let me get an extension. Last year he got a $1.3 million contract deal. But, if you looked at his contract to go to Louisville for a role with more responsibility, I would say, as the GM, he's making the same money. He can make more with incentives. I'm not sure what those are. It's probably college football playoff. It's probably, get to a title game, that sort of thing, ACC championship. It's, based off the team. But it's not like he took the job because he got a bag, right? He went to Louisville. He made the conscious decision to go to Louisville and be the GM for the in-state rival, because he thinks the opportunity is better there. I can't find it any other thing, which sucks as a Kentucky fan, because you want him to ride with his boy. Stoops and him have been tied at the hip forever. Youngstown, Ohio dudes.
27 years.
Yeah, they came up through football together. And there was some rumors that he was told he couldn't recruit in certain places. Especially Ohio was like his thing. I don't know how true it is. I didn't dig into the Twitter rumors or some of these articles you got to pay for. Like, it ain't worth it for me. I'm not giving you my money so I can hear whatever rumor that you got from some anonymous source. But there was definitely tension, and Vince talked about, like, the reason why Pete Thamel broke the news and Stoops didn't know is, like, he said, I try to reach out to him. I haven't talked to him in weeks. Like, there's been a massive communication gap between me and the head coach. And that's why it got leaked, and everybody kind of was surprised about it. So that relationship was definitely torn. Vince tried to come out and make this statement and thank Kentucky fans and blah blah. And while I appreciate it, I couldn't give a single damn, dude. There are two schools you can't go to after
Oh
leaving
man.
Kentucky. You
Yeah.
can't go to Louisville. You can't go to Tennessee. Especially you can't just jump ship to one of the other one and think
Yeah.
everything's going to be okay. I hope
Yeah.
you lose every single game ever that you are a part of in that organization. Um, there will be zero
Uh,
forgiveness. All the positive things he's done, big dog Vince Moore, the dude we love. He got credit for recruiting Jasper Johnson to Kentucky to play basketball from North Carolina, right? We love this man, and then he
yeah.
made the decision, and now he can suck it, dude. Like I don't even want to see it anymore. He can talk all this shit. I hope we get to L's down him just right in his face this year. That being said, I do think Louisville is ahead of the game with this hire. I don't know if Vince is the right dude to manage money and football salary caps with the revenue share, but the fact that you have hired a GM to manage football and kind of like deal with those things and try maybe enhance recruiting, that's where I think Louisville wins this hire. I don't know that Vince Morrow is like some massive name outside of
Yeah.
like the state or I guess that region maybe.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have someone designated to be like, hey, you're managing this thing because
Yeah.
football is always going to be the big moneymaker, right?
Hmm.
Louisville's a unique place like Kentucky where basketball's always going to try to chip in and get more money. And if
Yep.
you like Kentucky, if you falter in football, all the fan base is going to be like, hey, give that money to basketball because that's what we really care about.
Yep. Yep.
But the fact that you have that dude in the position, I think that's what gives you the leg up with this hire of Vince Morrow is having that GM. Because we talked about it before. I think that's an important role, having
Oh
someone
yeah.
like that to manage the money, to manage the salary cap, to manage the rosters, to tell people like and agents, this is what your dude's worth and this is what he's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's the new world we're living in of NIL. And yeah, like I said, I think it is. I don't necessarily feel like it's going to translate over the course of this next season, obviously, because we have rosters are set. We've already been through spring ball. We're not, it's not like he's going to come in right away and start bringing in talent. So it's going to have to wait until next offseason really to see where we're at. And then, yeah, man, I mean, it is good to have, like you said, somebody in that spot, in that GM spot, and have the defined role and know that that's going to be your guy, and that you're not looking around trying to find people. And it provides stability for the recruits to be like, all right, well, this is the dude I'm dealing with, right?
Yeah.
This is who I know my agent is going to talk to. Like, I'm not having to go third party to talk, through anybody else to talk to the coach or whatever. And yeah, I mean, obviously he's got a good relationship with Braum, so 20 plus years on that side too. So I think he's obviously going to hold some weight as far as being able to make those decisions for the team and for the program. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Obviously, this fan base hadn't been as excited as they are right now since the Lamar days. So we'll see where we go.
Yeah, and the ACC is still open. Like
Oh, wide open.
Maybe North Carolina is something with Bill there.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami
Yeah.
you lose your number one overall pick quarterback
Yep.
to replace him. Is Carson Beck the guy? He wasn't last year. So, what are some of the other powerhouses in the ACC?
Yeah, Clemson, obviously.
Dabo's been struggling.
Yeah.
He'll win some games,
Yeah.
but they haven't
Dabo's been
been
struggling,
the
but
same.
he's always there to ruin somebody else's season.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even when they're not at their peak, like they are always there to ruin somebody else's season. So I do.
And the
I
Florida State
honestly
drop off has been historic.
needs
So
to be
like,
studied. Needs to be studied.
yeah.
Uh,
That's what happens when you put your QB trust in DJ after he failed at Clemson and
yeah.
he thought at Oregon
Dude,
State he played well. I get that was
I
terrible decision.
don't like how that blew my mind. Like, even when he went to Oregon State, I'm like, why is Oregon State? Maybe they couldn't get anybody else, but like he clearly showed he was not the guy when he was at Clemson, right? And that is Dabo has a long history of developing professional quarterbacks, like NFL caliber quarterbacks from their freshman year on. And if you can't go to that program as a dude with arm talent and who is a successful high school quarterback and then continue to develop. Like, it ain't the system. The system is proven. like,
Yeah.
like they got another one this year. Cade Klubnik's like top 5 in a lot of people's draft boards coming into the year. So it wasn't the system. So for him, yeah, for Norvell to be like, oh yeah, that's our guy. He's going to solve all the problems. It was mind boggling to me that was where they went with that. So I don't know, dude.
Norvell, his seat is just as hot as Mark Stoops, if not hotter.
Yeah,
his ass is fringed at the moment. But DJ is the typical. Hey, I was a 4-star, like 5-star, whatever the hell, highly rated number 1 quarterback in his draft class. So he was always going to get extra opportunities that he probably didn't deserve, just because of the name, and the hope of, like, the hype was there, the hope of maybe he kind of that switch flips, and he can be the guy, but he certainly was not.
No,
but yeah. So, but back to Louisville. As much as I hate to say it, like, I think you're ahead of the power curve with this hire. Now, if he's not the right guy who can't handle it, then it's probably more of a hindrance than it is a benefit. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yep.
But you did mention the portal, though. If this would have happened early April, man, Kentucky would have been in some trouble, because a lot of these dudes, I think, would have jumped ship, that Vince had brought in or had ties to or whatnot. But the fact that it happened afterwards and they're kind of locked in, and he didn't meet the threshold of open up a new 30-day window for dudes to leave. I don't know that for certain. Maybe these guys were just wanted to be part of the whole, like, blue collar mentality thing that we're getting back to, and wanted to be a part of the revamped Kentucky team. But the way the climate is for college football nowadays, I could have seen a lot of people hit that portal and we'd have been struggling. So the fact that it happened, post that second portal window closing, I think was massive. And if Vince did that for a reason, I appreciate you, my guy. Even though I don't like you, but I do appreciate that decision.
Thanks for letting us hold on to our players for at least another season.
Yeah, maybe we can get to a. I didn't want to talk about it. We went. Selena and I went through a wins-loss prediction this year, and it was a painful exercise. It was a painful exercise. Yeah, I couldn't get myself to say we were going to lose against Tennessee or y'all. But it's, I don't know. Well, it's going to be. It was frustrating. That's all I can say.
Our whole season is going to be based on whether or not Miller Moss can be the first rounder that everybody thought he was a couple of years ago, and that's kind of a interesting place to be, but I mean, shoot, dude, if you can get Tyler Shuff to look like the way that he looked last year, I think Jeff, if anybody, Jeff and Brian, I think they are definitely quarterback whisperers.
Is he starting for New Orleans this year? Like, who else do they have if Carr's done? Have they signed anybody else?
Spencer Rattler. Dude, their QB room is not good. It is.
That's why I missed something in this offseason. I think it's like Tyler Shuck. It might be the Shuck show there in New Orleans.
Downtown, a lot of people hate on him, and obviously he's got that clip from the combine that was terrible. But the dude was a competitor all year long, and I think that while I don't necessarily see him being a starter for a bunch of years in the NFL, what I do see him being, because I think he understands the game at a very high level, and that is what helped him play as well as he did last year. I could see him being like one of those guys that's like every time you turn around, you're like, oh, dang, he's QB2 on a roster. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be a good locker room guy, and he'll get his fair share of starts. And I would love to see him get some starts this year, especially with as trash as that quarterback room is. You can't convince me at all that Spencer Rattler is a better option than Tyler Shuff. I don't care. I also love to see that guy just absolutely ride the struggle bus. I've never been a Spencer Rattler fan in my life. So yeah.
Yep, man. So it's going to be interesting how the football season kind of plays out. I think Kentucky fans are just this gives us some added motivation to go in and beat Louisville. Not that we necessarily need it, right? Like that's one that You win the Louisville game, you kind of save the whole season, depending on however many it goes for you
Yeah,
guys with where
but it
you're
ain't
at
gonna
right
happen.
now.
Just so we're being
Eh,
clear, you do understand it's not gonna it's not gonna happen. Just
Hey, listen,
throwing it
I
out there.
understand what happened. I understand what happened last year, but 2 years ago, when there was no chance we were
Okay.
going to Louisville and win that
All right.
game, and then Ray Davis ran all over y'all. Just
Yeah.
saying, there is a chance. Hey, Zach from Incarnate Word,
Yeah.
he just might be the next guy.
Hey, I'm telling you what, that football
He might
program
be the
down there
next guy.
is pretty good. Like they are actually Incarnate Word is actually a good football program.
Yeah,
I mean,
they definitely are a feeder into some of these bigger schools for sure.
yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of a placeholder, but at the same time, yeah, they produce some good athletes. So yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm over here trying to look up who the hell is on this roster for 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 the Saints quarterback room. Uh, Jake Hayner, Spencer Rattler. They got Taysom, who could spell you a
Uh,
little bit in there. And then Tyler Shuff. I don't even remember where the hell Jake Hayner played college football at. Fresno State. That's why I don't remember
damn, disrespectful. Yeah,
oh, man.
man. It's gonna be. I don't know. I don't want to hate on the guy. Like, yeah, I hope he was an SEC talent. Um, but Zach ZC, man. I don't know if you put all the faith in him in a season like when Stoops, you got to win or you're gonna be gone.
Yeah,
But he was an SEC guy. He beat Bama. Like, I think the tools are there. He's older now. Maybe the game kind of slows down for him. He's back at SEC. It's just a massive jump, man. It's a
yeah.
huge jump, and hopefully maybe he can have old boy from Vandy Pavia. What's the dude's name? Pavia.
Pavia.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he can have that kind of season where he just comes in there and just lights it up and surprise everybody. But right now, all Kentucky fans are just like wait and see. I think all of us expect just pain until basketball season starts. But hopefully we're surprised and
Uh,
we get
I'm still
some of
counting on you
these.
giving me a 10-win prediction at some
No,
point.
man, I'm struggling to get to 5 or 6, man. Like
Get
the over under is 4.5.
get a
If you
couple
know,
bourbons in
like
you, and we'll see if we can change that.
wait till we start talking basketball season. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
talking 40-0
yeah,
at this point with this
yeah. I
team.
was about to say, yeah. Never gonna get
40 and
that.
oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're also gonna win a national championship last year too. So I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You can't win
We
them
got
all.
close. We
Can't win
got
them all.
close. You
Can't
can't
win
win
them
them
all.
all. And if you're Louisville, you can't even win one
Yeah,
tournament
that's
game.
that. You
So,
damn right. Damn right. You can't.
yeah. Hey, also, Pat Kelsey got to stop with some of the stuff he's doing on social media.
Man, I
These
love Pat
videos.
Kelsey. I don't care. He's a weirdo, and I don't care. He's a weirdo, but he's our weirdo. That's fine
Yeah,
with me.
I
I
guess.
don't care.
I guess
Yeah,
if you win basketball games, I guess no one
you
cares,
do
right?
whatever.
But the second you
It's
stop winning those
it's
games, the
not gonna
weirdo
be cute
thing,
anymore. It's
it's
not gonna
not
be
cute.
cute
Nope.
anymore.
Nope.
People are gonna be like, all
It
right,
is the
delete that. Just
yeah.
get it out of there.
It's the Mike McDaniel effect. Like you can
Yep.
wear capris
Yep.
and Nikes on the sideline with off whites with the tag. You can wear all that stuff
Yep.
and look fly. You start losing football games like you have been. All Miami fans hate you, including
That's
me.
another
Like
one right there, dude. That
get
that
going.
downfall needs to be studied as well. That has just been a complete dumpster fire for the last couple of seasons. Like,
Well, you paid. Okay, let me get in it. Tua is a top 15-ish quarterback, right? But you paid him
yeah,
like he's a top 5 quarterback. So
sure
now
did.
you got way too much money tied into him. So you paid a good quarterback, great quarterback money. That's a problem.
Yep.
You overpaid Jalen Ramsey in the back end of his career.
Yep.
So there's the Greer situation where the finances are just completely jacked. But then if you just focus on Mike McDaniel and Tua, like the
Yeah.
best ability is availability. Tua can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Okay. Um, and then you got Mike McDaniel, who, if Tua is out, can't adjust the way he coaches.
He can't
So you
adjust what
have,
Tua is in. Like he
well,
had
yeah,
zero adjustment ability at
no.
all. Zero.
And Tua can't, there's no progression in Tua. Tua is
No.
locked on Reek
Yep.
or, whatever. Like when you actually see Tua go like 1 to 2 to 3, you're like, holy shit, like the game's slowing down for him.
Yep.
That's when he's at his best. But recently, especially with all the injury stuff, he's been known for accuracy and his
Yep.
feet are all over the place because he's scared of getting like he's moving. So the accuracy is gone, and he doesn't have a arm where he can just he didn't have the Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen type of just get it to you off balance, where
Yeah.
you can get away with some of the fundamental things.
Yeah.
But like, Tua got hurt, and we had Snoop Huntley come in, who Snoop Huntley isn't a great quarterback, but who got him to the Pro Bowl and won games? Harbaugh won some
Yep.
games with him with the Ravens because he was able to adjust that offense a little slightly. Like he's closer of a player to Lamar than he is than Snoop is the Tua.
Sure.
But my point is the dude shows that he could win games. So
Yep.
like, if I'm a football coach, I'm gonna go watch some Ravens film and say, let's do the things that he did. Nope, Mike McDaniel was back there like, all right, dog, you're going to play just like Tua, and we're going to hope that you can get it done. And we sucked. And we're going to continue to suck as long as he's on the sidelines. And that's why I'm a Bills fan. Let's go. Big Blue Nation Bills. They drafted
Kentucky North.
Kentucky
Kentucky
right.
North.
Big Blue Nation Bills. And
you want to talk about Louisville East over here, Baltimore?
With the Ravens.
True, man. I think Zaire was a steal, dude. Jair. I said Zaire. Jair.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about somebody who I think just is going to absolutely plug straight into this defense and be an instant factor. On top of the draft pick, on top of already having Kyle, on top already having Marlon, and then obviously we got Roquan. That defense, man. If we are not a top 5 defense in the NFL this year, like something has gone very wrong, and all of our starters are hurt.
And you get Alexander on a prove it deal, like a 1 year, $6 million. Was that what it was? 1 year, $6 million.
I don't even know if it was that.
I think maybe 6+ incentives or something. But yeah, he's on a prove it deal to come in there and play hard. And what it gives you depth at corner. So now you got 2 really good corners. The problem where the Ravens struggled is when they had to move Kyle Hamilton out of that natural safety position. Then the defense struggled because of how good Kyle Hamilton is at that anchor spot in that safety defensive position where he's just like, he's a big body, he's ranged, he's fast, he's a linebacker safety kind of hybrid, that Derwin James type player. So when he can play in his natural spot, the defense is just better. For sure.
I think having Marlo and having Jair on the corners and letting Malachi and Kyle just roam around back there in the secondary, like that is dangerous, dude. Like it's not going to be, I'm not going to go out and be like, oh, it's the new Ed Reed, Ray Lewis days, because that is one of the all-time combos ever in the history of the sport. But I mean, dude, it's bordering on getting pretty dang close. Like we obviously they don't hit like they used to because they get flags and stuff like that. But as far as a pure athleticism and ball instinct standpoint, like that secondary is terrifying. And I can't wait. You know what I can't wait for? I cannot wait to play Aaron Rodgers and just absolutely dog this man, because dear God, like, you want to talk about being insufferable. Like, I love Mike Tomlin. Obviously hate the Steelers. I love Mike Tomlin though. Mike Tomlin's a great dude. Sorry about it, Mike. Like, I hope y'all get dog walked, and I hope the 500 or better streak comes to an absolutely crushing end, because that dude is just a terrible human being, and I can't wait for him to retire.
Terrible human being.
I can't wait, dude. Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
You immunized piece of shit.
Dude, I'm just saying, let's be honest. Like, he's never been really in a conference or a division of the caliber of defenses that he's about to go play twice a year, like Cleveland and like us. Like, Cleveland is dog shit on the offensive side of the ball. But Myles Garrett, good luck, brother.
Horrible. Yeah.
Good luck. Like, you could be running for your life back there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's gonna be so glorious.
Aaron Rodgers is frustrating because he talks like I love the Pat McAfee show. Watch it religiously. He's on there every football season. And when he first came on there, it was good conversation. He was funny, but then he would start getting into talking like everybody else is an idiot, and he's the smartest dude.
And I just know everything. Yep.
Dude, and it's like, all right, dude, man. Like, I don't prescribe to like the LeBron James shut up and dribble thing. Like, that's
Yeah.
stupid. You should be able to talk to other things other than sports,
Yeah.
but don't
Yeah.
talk to everybody like they're a fucking moron. You're
Yeah.
come on, man. Like
Yeah.
that's what's frustrating.
Right.
And now he is one of the best ever to throw the football for
Yes.
sure.
Pure arm
Has
talent
he?
and like
Yes.
like
4-time
dude.
MVP.
Yep.
But when you're measured off of certain things, and MVPs is one of them, but
Yep.
he's been on some very good teams that has fallen short in the playoffs and one Super
14
Bowl
win teams. Yeah.
and
Like
can't get it
division
done. Right?
winners can't get there. Can't get it done. Can't win with them. Can't play with them. Can't do it.
Yeah, and now it's can he play 17 games? Can he get through a whole 17 game series?
I don't know, man.
Season?
Maybe he went on a better ayahuasca retreat this year, and he'll be ready to go. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently he's done with the plant medicine, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's on the real medicine now. You gotta get those tendons strong, boy.
Yeah, he's on that Tom Brady thing. Tom Brady played 20-something years in the NFL and got younger every year.
Yeah, dude, that man was that. I don't
Tell
even
me he
wanna
wasn't
know.
HGHing on the offseason.
It did black voodoo magic, dude. I'm telling you, like my guy.
Yeah.
was
Avocado
defi-
ice cream doesn't do that to you. All right.
No, it sure does
There is some
not.
science. There is some
It sure,
science there
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, dude. Yeah, experimental technologies and whatnot. That man's a robot.
That's right.
You can't convince me
Yeah.
he's not.
No, he is special.
Yeah.
All right. So one last thing, NFL news, and we'll talk about it because it's everybody or a lot of people from where we're from are massive Cincinnati fans. Have you stayed locked into what's going on with like these contract negotiations and trying to sign these guys?
Nah, man, but it's I haven't been paying attention to it much lately, but you knew it was going to be a dumpster fire, dude. Like you just can't pay everybody. You had an opportunity to sign T. Higgins last year, right? And you're messing around with Hendrickson, who is like a phenomenal defensive player. Obviously, you're paying Burrow. Obviously, you're going to pay Jamar Chase. Like you can't let those two dudes go. But you had a chance to just sign T. Higgins and be done with it last year. And now you pissed him off. And like, dude, I just don't that they are a couple of jacked up contracts and a bad season away from completely blowing that team up. And I feel bad for Joe Burrow, dude. And I feel bad for Jamar Chase because they had an opportunity for it to not be this way, but that ownership is just killing them right now. Like killing them.
The Brown family has always been kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Duke Tobin, and as the GM, is like, his decision making is questionable. When they were able to sign Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the offseason and get both those guys back, you're like, oh wow, like these dudes they're paying money, they're serious. But you didn't really think about the secondary,
the third and fourth order effects. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if you signed T. Higgins, like you didn't wait to do this thing with T. Higgins, you wouldn't have even had to dealt with it, and then you could have focused on all the other crap that you got going on that you're not able to pay these dudes. Like,
or just understand that you can't let Jamar Chase go. You got to pay him, right?
Yeah, you got to.
I think the fan base would have understood if they didn't pay T. Higgins big money in order to sign some of these other dudes, like the Sack King, Trey Henderson, to get that dude back. A dude who like loves Cincinnati. His whole family's there. He's been part of that franchise for forever. Like he wants to do the thing, and they're sitting there saying like, "We're not going to give you a 3 to 5 year deal. We're going to give you a one year prove it deal to get you paid." And he's like, "Dude, you've been telling me for 2 years now, keep performing, and you're going to give me you'll take care of me, on the back end and give me a good contract." And now you're like, "Now we're going to give you a 1 year incentive based deal." It's
right. Prove what, by the way? Prove what? What does that man need to prove to your organization? Like he doesn't. There's nothing he needs to prove.
100%. And then I think what that does too is like Cincinnati was starting to become a destination place, right? Because you got Joe Burrow and the offense is good, and they've shown they can beat the big dogs, right? They can beat KC, they can beat the Bills, they can beat the Ravens. But now it's like, if this is how you're going to take care of your vets who have been in the locker room forever, like your glue guys, and you weren't even going to pay them, nah, man, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, who know how to do it and can pay their guys and take care of their guys. I mean, you see, like with the rookie that they're trying to signed now. What the heck is his name? Shamar Stewart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I guess some organizations do this for rookie deals, some don't. But the CBA spells out if you're drafted this spot in the first round, this is what you get paid. This spot in the first round, like
Yeah.
it's real easy. It's not the old school AJ Hawk or number one quarterback pick who gets like $60 million contract. It's just gonna be outlandish. It's all kind of prescribed. And they're trying to in Shamar Stewart's contract trying to put in some clause about they can void years,
His guaranteed
money
money. Yeah,
later
yeah.
down the road. And
Yep.
he's got like some young agent, up and coming agent, who's like, "Hey, dog, you don't want to be the first dude to set a precedence for this."
Yeah.
And
Nope.
so this guy's standing on his grounds and be like, "Okay, no, I'm not signing this contract." So you got your 17th overall pick who still isn't in the building, missing training camp, doing all these things, or OTAs. I think they're getting ready to come into training camp. But a rookie who needs snaps and needs to get in the locker room and kind of build that continuity with the team, and you can't even sign this dude. When the CBA lays out, just doom, just copy and paste this right here, and you're good to go. That organization's an absolute dumpster fire,
Dude,
man.
it's a joke. It's a joke. And I mean, like I said, it really, the one thing you needed to shore up, it's not the offense, it's the defense. Like, Joe Burrow's going to go out and throw 45 damn touchdowns a year, and Jamar Chase is going to go out and catch 15 of them and have 2,000 damn yards of receiving every year. And then that's going to open up, obviously T. Higgins, when he's healthy, could be a number one guy on most other teams. He just happens to be on the same team with Jamar Chase, who is obviously a number one guy. And, arguably him and Justin Jefferson are like 1 and 1A for the best receivers in the league. It just, but does that make a difference if you're going out and you're putting up 45 points a game and then your defense goes out and gives up 46 points a game? No, it doesn't. Case in point, last year. So the fact that they're playing around with these, and you're right, dude, it's just creating a culture where people are going to want to start. They're not going to want to go there. Like it is not going to be enough of a draw for it to be like, hey, we've got, one of the best offenses in the league, and we're going to go out and put up X amount of points and we're going to win games. Like, nobody's going to want to go there because they're not going to trust the ownership and the GM to get them the deals that they want and to not be playing these games that they're playing with. And if they're playing it with their best defensive player, like, what are they going to do to the mid-level guys? You know what I mean? You're doing it to your first round draft pick and your top defensive player. And if these guys can't get the respect and the, cooperation to get the deals done that are going to benefit everybody in the end, like, what does that say for other guys that are coming in there, to try and get these 1 or 2 year deals to just maybe come in and have a chance to go get to the playoffs and win some games and maybe win a Super Bowl? It's not a good look for the organization at all.
No, and it just, I'm not a Bengals fan. That part of it didn't reach me. But I couldn't imagine. I was talking about my frustration with Tua, and we paid him because he's not the guy. To know that you have a top 5 potentially quarterback in the league who you just could give the tools to and go win a Super Bowl. Already been there, done that.
Been there.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Couldn't win the
Couldn't
game.
Quite get it done.
Yeah,
been there.
But got you there, and and you're just like, nah, we're not going to go all in. We're gonna find ways to f this thing up. Like, we're just find new ways. Every offseason is a complete something going on with that team to just create a distraction, and that's why they start off every season like dog shit, and then somehow Joe Burrow pulls them out of the mud and wins them games, and they're in it in the last bit of it. So, but hey, it is what it is. I'm a new a new Bills fan. Shout out! I gotta learn their chants. At least do that.
Yeah, and you're going within the division too, which is even worse. That's just terrible.
I don't think I won't be able to pull the trigger. The Dolphins have been hurting me for so. But you sent the daggum, what was it, the meme or whatever? Talking about like all the Florida professional programs doing great, and the Dolphins got one playoff wins in a quarter of a decade.
Oh man,
or a century, quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Oh my good grief. But they suck, and they'll continue to suck as long as Mike McDaniel and Tua are there. But all right, man. Well, we'll have a good ball game tomorrow. Hopefully it's a good game. But it's really going to close out sports for a while. I know I'm going to take a vacation. We're probably going to have a little bit of a Border Rivals Heavy Pour Sports hiatus until we get into TBT. Man, we'll probably come back for TBT. That
Oh
Kentucky
yeah, for
Louisville
sure.
games are going to be fire for sure. But we'll have a little
Yeah.
bit of a break. We get into the summer months and can't wait for football season. As much as it's probably
Oh,
going to suck for us, just can't wait.
still
Can't
can't
wait
wait.
to
There's nothing better than
get
football
going.
season, man. There's nothing better.
Yep. Fall ball, man. It's what it's all about. But all
Mhm.
right, brother, you have a good one.
Yeah,
And
bro.
right there, subscribe to YouTube channel, Heavy Pour Sports, all UK ball on the X, Heavy Border Rivals HPS on X for the Heavy Pour Sports channel. And as always, go Cats.
L's up, baby.
Peace.